Hey everyone, I wanted to make a quick video going over website migrations and launches and give you guys some tips on how to do this effectively so that you don't lose any traffic and you don't have a bad user experience whenever you launch a new website. So I've got a few things I want to go in and talk about in this video in depth, but I also have a spreadsheet that I'll link to in the comments wherever this video is, and you can use that. It's a checklist, a website launch checklist that we use at Sitemap for all of our website redesign and launch projects, and you can certainly customize it for your specific project, but it includes things to look for, things to do, stages, pre-launch, post-launch, and so if you follow those things, it'll definitely help you out. But as far as some more in-depth tips, I wanted to touch on a few things, really three major areas that I think companies should pay attention to, and three things they should do. And the first one is about comparing old with new and crawling websites. So when you launch or when you're designing a new website, it's oftentimes built on a staging server. And so you're going to have this new website you're launching, this new website you're building and designing and writing content for and changing and all of that stuff. And then you're going to have your existing website. And one thing I found is that a lot of companies will launch their new website without really considering all of the pages that their current website has that they don't really know what to do with anymore. So when it comes to those pages, the thing is that a lot of them can have SEO value to them. So they might have keywords, they might have backlinks, but they also could be deep linked. They could be linked in emails, they could be linked in your app. So when you're launching a new site, you want to compare the two sites. You want to compare what you currently have with what you're about to replace it with. And you want to look for gaps. So if you've got, 4,000, 10,000 URLs on your existing website, and you only have 300 or 400 URLs on the site that you're about to launch, there's going to be a big gap there. So you need to find those pages, those URLs, those files that are no longer existing, and you need to make a plan with what to do with them. And if you don't compare what you currently have with what you're about to launch, you could end up losing a lot of traffic and having a poor user experience with a bunch of blank pages. So we use a tool called Screaming Frog to crawl a website. There are other things you can use, but you want to crawl and get a list of all the URLs for both sites and start to compare and make sure you don't have big gaps. The second tip is about benchmarking and benchmarking analytics from a performance side and an SEO side. So I found that when you launch a new website, that minor design changes can have a big impact on how certain things perform, like conversions, like ads, like sales, like different metrics that we would closely monitor from a performance perspective. So when we launch a new website, we always benchmark performance of ads, conversion rate perspective. And when we launch the site, we compare, over a few days, over a week or so, how the new site is performing. Small changes from fonts, from designs, colors, up to things like, product detail page layout, collection page layout, form, resource layouts. All of these different things can have an impact. They can change the way people use the site. So you want to make sure that you don't have some huge dramatic performance drop. The same way that design changes can have an impact. If you're, changing your URLs, if you're changing titles, meta titles, descriptions, if you're even rewriting little parts of content on your website, on the new website, well, that can definitely impact your SEO. Search Console or some other tool, preferably Search Console though, to figure out, where your keywords are ranking, what URLs have what keywords, what URLs get the most clicks, keywords, position, all of those SEO things. And you want to compare where your current site is. And then again, with your new site, you want to compare after a week or so, how's it performing? Monitor those SEO KPIs to ensure that your new site is staying, with your SEO the way your old site was. So the last thing is about redirects and creating a redirect plan. So this goes back to really that first point about crawling sites and finding gaps and finding, where my old page is going to go on the new site, etc. But if you don't have a redirect plan, a 301 redirect plan, you are definitely asking for problems with your SEO and just your overall site experience. It is impossible to keep your SEO if you don't redirect old pages to their new destination. If you've changed URLs, if you've gotten rid of pages, if you've combined pages together, you need to make sure you're redirecting your where those old pages are to where they're going on the new website, or else you're going to ask for a lot of problems. Another tip I have on this subject is you need to find your old 301s or your current 301s. So if you've made changes on your site, this version you have to your new version, you're going to have a 301 list there. You're also, though, going to have old 301s, and those could be located in a plugin if you're on a, like a WordPress type website. They could be in an old server file somewhere, but you've probably been creating 301s for, years, perhaps. You need to find those old 301s and add them to your new list. If you don't, you could face more problems, because if you just do that, honestly, you're going to be, you're going to take care of a big part that most companies miss. So crawl and compare the website, benchmark and compare, and then finally have a 301 redirect plan. I can't stress that enough. If you don't have that and you don't have that capability and you don't know how to do that, it could definitely cause major issues for you. With all those things being said, I highly recommend, if you are just working with like a website design firm or you're doing this internally, reach out to an SEO agency, reach out to us, or find some type of technical SEO resource, because this is not something that you can go back and like retroactively do. So follow those tips, get some help, use the checklist that's linked somewhere in this video or in the comments, and you'll be good to go.